Yo, what's poppin'? I just wanted to talk about embracing fear. I had this thought recently where I didn't think that I started really living life until I embraced my own fears. And you might be feeling the exact same way, but I felt like life kind of hit like a stagnant spot for me when I wasn't really doing anything outside of my comfort zone or pushing myself or doing anything that was very new or something that, you know, was maybe my fear and I didn't want to do. You know, I had come, you know, like kind of scared to like try new things, and I was like worried, you know, and there's this like fear thought, and you know, your system starts to protect you, and it's like, yo, that's uncomfortable, don't do that. And I was like, you know, life's kind of getting boring. Like, I need to start doing stuff that's outside of my comfort zone. And I just found anytime I was, you know, doing the same thing, or anytime I had a fear and I didn't try and, you know, overcome it, I was just bored, and I was just, you know, like not feeling confident in like getting over my fears. And that's the only way we grow, is by getting over our fears and pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone and trying to tackle whatever it is that makes us, you know, feared. And for the longest time, I didn't really know how to look at my fears, you know? I found them, you know, very intimidating. I was like, I don't know if I can get over that. I don't know if I can do that, and so on. And I just started to, you know, look at them in a way is that, you know, it's just a belief that doesn't align with myself. And there's nothing wrong with having any type of fear or being afraid to do something or being uncomfortable in a moment. But it's just ultimately something that doesn't align with your highest self, your highest version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, we can always get over our fears, but a lot of times we really want to protect ourselves and stop ourselves just because it's scary. But you don't start living life until you get over your fears. And that was the biggest thing that I learned, is you're not going to really challenge yourself. You're not going to really grow. You're not going to really experience your highest self if you're always doing the same thing and you're never really taking any risks or trying to do something that, you know, you're feared of doing. And when I wasn't doing that, I was stagnant. I was in the same routine, you know. I wasn't having much experience. I felt like I was doing the same thing, and I was like always scared to do the next thing. And, you know, if I was afraid of doing this, then, you know, I would become more scared to do it the next time if I didn't actually jump it. And a lot of you can probably relate to that. You know, I'm sure you've been in a position where your boy's like, yo, go talk to that girl, and you're like, nah, she's not really my type, there's no point. And like, maybe low-key you would want to pull up and talk to that girl, but you don't want to because your nervous system is like, that's a little uncomfortable. I don't know if you got the riz. I don't know if you should pull up. But every time you do that and you get into a habit, whether it's a girl or it's just doing something that you're afraid to do, you know, like, the next time it comes around, whether you go and talk to that girl and you completely fail and you completely embarrass yourself and your boys are laughing at you, at least you did it. And then the next time it comes around, you'll be like, yo, I did it already. And maybe you'll be feeling scared again because you embarrassed yourself, but in order to get over that fear again, you have to do it. And any time that we prevent ourselves from not achieving our fears and not getting over that, it's just going to be harder and harder and harder. We're just going to create this huge giant wall that's just going to always want to protect us every time there's a fear that we're trying to get over. I know it's not easy to, you know, just get over your fear the next day and, you know, in the situation, in the moment, just go right at your fears. But a lot of times when we have these fears, we're just not present, right? One of my favorite authors, Eckhart Tolle, talks about, you know, how important the present moment is, and that's all we really have. And if you can really put a lot of value into that and understand that, you know, you only have the present, you don't have, you know, the future, you know, just try and stay as present as possible, you're going to limit those fears and you're going to be able to attack them as many times as possible because you're in the present moment, right? A lot of us have these fears and we're so caught up in like, oh, I want to do something, but I'm worried about how the outcome's going to be. And once you start to think that way, you're not even like in the present moment. You've now shifted to the future. My biggest advice is embracing your fears on a daily basis. I try and push myself every single time there's something that I wouldn't want to do that makes me feel uncomfortable, you know? Not like in a weird way, but it's just like, I don't really feel like doing that because it's like, yeah, I'm a little fearful. I'm a little scared. Like, how's it gonna go? Like, you know, I don't know if I really want to do that, you know? Like, me and my best friend, we started holding like events and stuff. And I remember the first time we were both extremely nervous to like give a huge speech on the mic in front of everybody. Sorry, it's a little bumpy right now. There we go. Now we're back to solid ground, baby. Now we're back to solid ground. All right, well, I was a little nervous when we went to go do our speech. And I've always been somebody who likes to entertain and be in front of like a group of people. But I kind of got nervous talking about our business. And at first I was like, yo, maybe I'll give it to Dylan. Or like, yo, maybe you can do the speech. But I was like, yo, you're never going to be able to talk about your business if you don't do that. And I was nervous. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. In the first couple of words, I was mumbling. And I was like fumbling. And I was a little nervous. And you could tell that I was nervous. But I needed to do that and push myself. And I felt so much better afterwards. And a lot of times, too, like when you're doing something that's like in a public setting and you're worried, you're nervous about how people are going to see you because you're nervous about doing whatever it is. Well, a lot of times people don't even notice, you know? And it's kind of like that, like, fake it till you make it. Like, you might be fucking extremely nervous in the moment or like, extremely fearful, but just go at it. Just do it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I try and do something that I wouldn't normally do, or if there's any type of, like, nervous, fearful feeling coming up on a daily basis, I always try and, like, do it, you know, even if I'm not going to be successful. It doesn't always happen, I'm not going to lie. There's some times where, you know, I'm not down to do something in the moment, and like I protect myself from doing it because I'm just, you know, nervous or afraid or whatever. If you start to embrace your fears on a daily basis, you're really gonna start to live life. And that was just something I just noticed, is like when I started embracing my fears, I finally started living life. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day and go for your fears.